So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Rise of the Beasts Mirage. And Mirage is an odd figure. He's kind of weird. He was a little bit hard to get, I guess. He just kind of randomly came out one time. Him and Nightbird. I seen them for like a week. I was working at the time, so I just went to Walmart because it was a Walmart like basically right next door. So I went in there basically every day to see. He's there, and like I wanted it, and I got it, and this thing's disappointing. It really is, unfortunately. And I just watched Rise of the Beasts the other day. I'd not watched it, believe it or not. It took me like a whole year. It was on Netflix. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch it at like midnight, and I was like, you know what? I'll sit here for 2 hours, sit down and watch it. And it was pretty good. You know, it was actually pretty good. And again, favorite part of the movie was Mirage, and the fact that his toys kind of meh is disappointing as all hell. So as far as it goes with it, there's a lot of things. This robot mode is inaccurate. It is super inaccurate. First and foremost, the entire head sculpt is like wrong. It's too big, or there's just not enough blue. It doesn't look right. There's only that bit of blue in the front, and it doesn't look right. The next thing is his forearms are translucent plastic. Why? Because I don't know. Because we're in that weird point before they realized, you know, maybe we should just start painting the windows. And that's what they're doing now, at least for the G1 figures. Because Studio Series hasn't released, like, a movie guy in, like, ages. Can they start doing that again? Like, it's been a while. Can we get on the Bayverse, guys? I know we've been loving that, but Studio Series was meant for Bayverse. And now we're on to the games, and now we're getting 86. And it's like we're getting everything but any, like, Michael Bay or movie guys. And I know we're getting Transformers 1 stuff now, too. So it's like we're just kind of everywhere with it. And Transformers 1 is a movie, so it makes sense. And again, 86 movie makes sense. But, man, I'm more or less just critiquing what it's become of the Studio Series line. But first go, this guy just has a bunch of issues. For one, this is actually my second copy of this guy, because while at work, one day into having it, the back windshield snapped while transforming. I'm not joking. A giant crack appeared down this back windshield here because of how it transforms. You have to file it down. If you don't, it's going to do exactly what I did. The tolerances were terrible on this figure, so he's quite breakable. And a whole lot of him is translucent plastic. Not only the arms, his whole back area is translucent. And again, it's not accurate because they had to get the alt mode right, because Porsche is quite strict on the alt form front, meaning it had to take precedent over the robot mode, which, I mean, sure, I do like the Porsche, so there's that, but the robot just looks so meh. The paint is alright, the silver's very good, and I mean, there's lots of the, you know, basic gray gunmetal, but there's not a lot of blue going on. Blue was like his secondary color, so you have some up on the arms here, you have some on the forearms. He has his gun over here in his hand. I move that. And much like a lot of the Rise of the Beast guns, it's just one of those little over-the-hand guns, which I'm not really a fan of. Like, they're not unique. They all had them. They're just kind of there. They're not even really blast effect compatible. They're just kind of meh. Not doing much. And even the whole backpack here, it's like, this isn't supposed to be there like that. He got wheels. He has side skirts, which the design in the movie, yes, doesn't have. It's because of the transformation. I usually like that, but they just aren't supposed to be there. He also has the fenders just hanging out. His feet are weird, too. They're just like, they just don't look like, they're just stapled on. That's what that looks like. They're stapled on, because they transform this way. But it still looks like it's stapled on. It just doesn't look good, in my opinion. The whole robot mode is just so flawed. It doesn't look a thing like the character it's trying to be. It's like a vague representation of it. Somehow it is better than the mainline one, though, which looks absolutely nothing like him. Like, seriously, why the hell did he have a battle mask? But it's like, There's just not a lot to say about the robot mode. It's very not him. It's just a different character. The articulation is fine. He has a ball joint at the head. He has ball joint at the shoulder. He has a swivel, a elbow, a wrist rotation, a waist rotation. Good luck getting that to function because of the backpack, though. Forward and back knee joint, which is just cluttered up, and the ankles are on a ball joint, so you get whatever you really need out of that. Forward, back, side to side. Ball jointed ankle, that's good. Otherwise, it's just meh. And, well, that's really it for the robots. Let's just get to the transformation, which is even worse. I should have transformed this guy before I pulled out the review, by the way, because it is not going to be fun. So, to transform Mirage, the first thing we're going to do is come to the backpack here and fold this back. We're then going to pull this out, which isn't very fun, because translucent plastic plus thin joints, and yeah, it's just not a good time. The next thing, come to the chest, pull it out like so. Do that, flip it up. Once you do that, come to the back, rotate it, the waist around, and then you got to pull it back, and then there's another hinge. So you basically have to like pull it up until it goes like that, and then it goes back in like that in a very strange step. It's really strange. Next thing, come to the back panel here, which is where mine broke. Flip this section up like so. Now we can start on the legs. So rotate them around like this. And then once you do that, you're going to take the fender and kind of move it like so. And then take the wheel, which is kind of collapsed, but not really. It's like kind of moved out of the way. And fold it back like so. And then that will peg into the fender, basically completing that. The next thing you're going to want to do is to fold this in. Like so. So you take the arm and it kind of folds away a little bit. You gotta like angle it so that these form the windows, because that's why the arms are translucent. Who could have seen that coming? It's just not a good design. It just really does hamper it. You know what I mean? Why would they do that? In my opinion, like, it just makes no sense. I get it, but you shouldn't have went so cheap with these again. Like, this was at the point where the price was going up at a rapid rate, and then you come in, and you mean to tell me that you had to cheap out on the arms of this figure. Not just any figure, the main, like, robot character of the new movie, and you cheap out on him. You cheap out and give him translucent arms, which nobody did like when they did that. It's like, why would you do that? This is the one everybody wants, and it looks nothing like the character either. Like, there's some things. And the transformation here, as you can see, isn't really that fun either. Like, it's not hard. It's just clashy, and it's just not a good time. It's just phenomenal, honestly. Like, I don't know how they screwed Mirage up this bad. But we're almost to, like, the only good part of this figure, in my opinion. Take the feet, fold them up like that. And now we gotta, like, try to get everything to peg together here. And then take this section. And time to do the terrible part. So what ended up breaking it is these little side pegs here. They have to go down into the fenders. That's what ended up breaking mine. And it was this exact step here where I pushed it in that it cracked on me because it was so tight. And then you have the roof, which, again, is also crappy because it pegs into some grooves in the arms. Not with, like, pegs or nothing, just, like, the arm grooves peg into the roof. That's how it works. And then for the gun stores underneath like so. And here we end up with the Porsche, which isn't even perfect either. While it's the best part of this figure, it is 2-panel line heavy. Look at the amount of them. It looks atrocious in the front. Look at the hinges. They're everywhere up here. There's lines just littering the thing. And it's not accurate. There's just too many hinge lines everywhere. The roof doesn't like to hold on securely half the time, as it is. The wheels aren't painted. You mean to tell me there's silver paint throughout this whole figure yet you couldn't paint the wheels? How does that even happen? The whole alt mode's silver. You missed the wheels? Is that what happened? Did they miss it? At least the tail lights are painted, and I mean, the headlights are all there, but again, silver with outlined around it, so works out. It's a nice alt form, and I like it, and it is a really cool car, and it does roll relatively well, but it took precedent over the whole rest of the figure. That's probably, and there's also been crows like constantly crowing in the background. I don't know if they're coming through on the video. I'm just going to mention them now. But anyway, that's really the alt mode, and that's really all I can say about Mirage, honestly. So let's just get to my final thoughts on them. And as far as it goes with Mirage, this is probably one of the most disappointing figures I own from Studio Series. And I just did a short on another bad Studio Series figure. The 3 worst Studio Series figures I own are probably this, Crosshairs, and that Studio Series Soundwave that I did the short on. And it just is baffling to me that you could screw up this bad. And again, this is the thing. I know it's like movie magic and all that jazz, but also, yeah, this guy everyone thought was jazz, weirdly enough. But the problem with this figure as a whole just comes down to the fact that they screwed the robot mode up. The alt mode, which again looks okay at best in my opinion, yes, it's worth it to get the Porsche licensing, sure, but the problem with that is it came at the cost of literally everything, and then you made a terrible transformation on top of that, which compromises said alt mode, which would look good other than the front end looking like it was stitched together, like it was the end of Rise of the Beasts in the goddamn finale part. When the end credit scene comes on, and Mirage is just magically back to life using a bunch of scrap parts. It's not a spoiler, it's been a year. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, if you're a Transformers fan, you probably watched it. I'm going to assume, like I said, I didn't watch it. That's because I still haven't watched The Last Night either. That one's with reason, though, because that one sucks, apparently. But as far as it goes with Mirage, and I know he's, like, relatively expensive, too. That's the weird part, because he was rare. He was a semi-rare-ish guy. He wasn't, like, super common. He came out towards the end of the year, which never is a good thing. And as far as it goes with him, I can't recommend it. I can't. I give him a 2. Honestly, no, I'm going to bump him down to a 1.5. That's the lowest rating I think I've ever given. Earthrise RC was disappointing, but that thing, honestly, if I was to go back, I was too nice on that thing. I give that thing a 0.5. It's just not good. The robot mode looks nothing like Mirage. The transformation sucks. The alt mode, while it kind of looks good, still has flaws, still has problems. There's nothing good about this toy. There's nothing good. There is no good Mirage available. There's not one version of Mirage from Rise of the Beasts that's good. He sucks. He genuinely sucks. And aftermarket prices have him, like, marked up high to, like, leader price points. Don't even bother. Don't even attempt to even get him. As much as you might like Mirage, I'm going to say stay clear entirely. There's no point. There's literally no point to owning this thing. I bought it because it was there. That was why I bought it. And that's really it for him. And before I go, I want to thank you guys, because we finally reached 400 subscribers. Thank you guys for that. Bit coming, but you know what? That's okay. Sometimes it takes a little while. I'm going to keep the shorts going. I'm going to keep trying to do mini reviews. But as far as it goes, that's really all for this review of Mirage. He sucks. Don't bother. This has been Elite signing out.